Enjoying Shavasana relaxation pose. Having the feet spread a little wider than hips width the distance apart, allowing the toes to rotate outward naturally. Arms engage in a comfortable extension. Maybe the palms face the sky. Finding your flow of breath. Establishing the baseline of where the breathing is. Then applying any changes you would like, whether that be diaphragmatic, that belly expands as you inhale and gently compresses as you exhale. After the diaphragmatic feels natural, you can engage in a smooth breath in which the inhale and exhale gently flow and transition into one another. After the breath is diaphragmatic and smooth, you can engage in an equivalent breath where the inhale and exhalation feel very similar in velocity and length of time. On an exhalation, allow the legs to move closer together. And as you inhale, reach the arms up overhead along the floor for a symmetrical stretch. If you would like to apply additional movements as you inhale in this symmetrical stretch, you can point the toes and stretch up through the fingers. Then as you exhale, flexing the feet, jutting those heels out, making gentle fists with the hands. As you inhale, extending the outer extremities. As you exhale, gently compressing the outer extremities towards the torso. On an exhalation of your choosing, hugging the knees into the chest as the knees bend. Holding on to either the backs of the thighs or fronts of the knees. You can roll, rock, sway, move the legs independent of one another. As you inhale, keep the knees bent and bring the arms down onto the ground in a T position. Possibly the palms face the floor. And as you exhale, allow the knees and legs to descend to the right, and the head can twist comfortably towards the left. As you inhale, bring the legs and head up. And on a subsequent exhale, allow the knees and legs to descend towards the left and head to twist comfortably to the right. As you inhale, bring the legs and head up. As you exhale, extend the feet towards the sky, holding on to the backs of the thighs, backs of the calves, toes or outsides of the feet. As you inhale, bring the legs into a V position, allowing them to Move away from each other, and you can switch the position of the hands to facilitate this different stretch. On an exhalation, bringing the arms onto the insides of the legs and bending the knees so you can hold on to the inside of the ankles or the inside arches of the feet as you engage in happy baby. You can rock, roll, compress, extend the legs. As you inhale, bring the soles of the feet together and place the outsides of the feet onto the mat. Knees will move outward naturally as you engage in reclined butterfly. On an exhalation, allow the knees to move closer to one another as the soles of the feet connect with the floor. On an inhalation, press into the soles of the feet. Have the posterior leave the ground and reach the belly up into the sky for an arching position. As you exhale, allow the vertebrae to descend and reconnect with the ground one by one. Eventually, the sacrum and posterior will rest into the ground. At that juncture, as you inhale, extend the legs onto the mat, and as you exhale, roll over to the left side. Utilizing this time to reconnect with the breath. On an exhalation, rolling over to the belly. Extending the arms overhead and relaxing them into the carpet. Chin or forehead rests on the mat as you engage in Advasana. As you inhale, slide the elbows back, bringing the upper torso away from the mat as well as the head as you engage in Sphinx. You can dictate where the elbows and forearms connect with the ground. This can change the amount of extension on the back, being mindful that there is some distance between the shoulders and the ears. On an inhalation, bring the forearms away from the ground and place the palms on the mat. Allow the chest to release down a little so the hands move onto the outsides of the chest. And as you exhale, press back into child's pose. The posterior reaches back. The backs of the thighs rest on the calves, and the torso rests on the thighs. As you inhale, bring the torso and body into a crawling position on the hands and knees. And here begin your cat-cow alternations. As you exhale, cat, the belly presses towards the spine, the back arches, and the head and pelvis rotate down. On an inhalation, the belly falls and the head and pelvis rotate towards the sky. The body transitions and moves between the two motions in conjunction with the breath. And for those of you that need a little extra, you can always exhale into a child's pose instead of cat and inhale into a cobra instead of cow. This is just another option. You can do any mix of these four motions that work well for your form. Bringing the torso back to the crawling position and beginning some rotations of the torso, any ellipses that feel correct for your form. This is halftime if you need to switch directions or totally change the way in which the body's moving. Bringing the torso back into the original crawling position. As you inhale, extend that right foot behind you, ball of the foot on the floor, utilizing the ball of the foot as a fulcrum to easily extend through that right heel. You can extend back as much as you find the stretch comfortable. As you exhale, swing that right foot out to the side. Whole sole of the foot connects with the ground. In here, you can simply lean into the hip, bend the elbows to bring the forearms onto the ground. As you inhale, extend the arms. On an exhalation, swinging that right foot behind you. As you inhale, reach that right arm up into the sky. As you engage in a supported side plank. On an exhalation, grounding that right knee and threading that right arm through the space between the left hand and left knee, allowing the right shoulder and right ear to connect with the floor. This is option one. Option two consists of the torso staying in this position, but the left leg extending up into the sky. You choose which motion feels correct for your form. On an exhalation, releasing anything that may be up in the sky. And as you inhale, bring that ear and shoulder away from the ground to reach that right arm up into the air. As you exhale, bring that right palm down onto the mat. As you inhale, move the hands a few inches forward so you can keep the posterior up. As you exhale, bring the chest and chin down to 8-point pose. As you inhale, move into Sphinx once again. As you can tell, I'm live streaming. If anyone wants to say hi to Clint and a few other people that help me test it out. This class will be live streamed going forward. I'll send out emails on how to access it. As you inhale, release down a little, placing the hands by the sides of the chest. And as you exhale, press back into child's pose. On an inhalation, moving into a crawling position. And as you exhale, extend that left foot behind you. Ball the foot on the floor. Easy extension through that left heel. Utilizing the ball of the foot as a fulcrum localizes the stretch on the back of the leg. As you exhale, swing that left foot out to the side. Whole sole of the foot connects with the ground. Here you can lean into the hip, bend the elbows, or bring the forearms onto the mat. As you inhale, extend the arms. On an exhalation, swinging that left foot behind you, whole sole of the foot stays connected with the floor. And on an inhalation, reaching that left arm up into the sky. Supported side plank. On an exhalation, bringing that left knee into connection with the mat and threading that left arm through the space between the right hand and right knee, allowing the left shoulder and left ear to connect with the ground. This is option one, just to have the left shoulder and left ear in connection with the floor. Option two is as you inhale, you can bring that right leg extended up into the sky. This is purely an option. If you would like to change this pose to work better for your form. On an exhalation, releasing anything down that may be up in the sky. And as you inhale, bring that left shoulder, left ear away from the mat, reach that left arm up into the sky. As you exhale, bring that left palm down. On an inhalation, walk the hands a few inches forward to exhale, down into 8-point pose. And on an inhale, moving into Sphinx. Here we will slowly transition into downward dog by curling the toes under. And inhale, releasing the torso down a little, placing the hands by the sides of the chest. And as you exhale, pushing into the hands and feet, reaching that posterior up into the sky as you engage in downward dog. You can bend one knee, assisting in the other leg's extension, and then slowly alternating.
On some exhalation, bringing that right foot forward. That left knee can be on or off the mat. And as you inhale, you can simply look forward. You can bring the torso up. Or if you're feeling rambunctious, you can bring the arms up overhead. On an exhalation, releasing that left hand down onto the floor, and inhale, reaching that right arm up into the sky. As you exhale, bring that left knee onto the ground, and inhale, extend that right leg back, moving into the supported side plank once again. As you exhale, bring that right hand down onto the ground. And as you inhale, move into your plank. As you exhale, drop the knees, keep the posterior up, chest and chin come down, 8-point pose. And as you inhale, move into Sphinx or Cobra. And on an exhalation, Downward Dog. As you exhale, bring that left foot forward. Right knee can be on or off the mat. As you inhale, you can bring the torso up, arms up if you would like. As you exhale, bring that right hand down onto the floor. Inhale, reach that left arm up into the sky. On an exhalation, ground that right knee. Inhale, extend that left leg back for your supported side plank. As you exhale, bring that left hand down onto the floor. Inhale into your favorite plank. Then exhale, 8-point pose. Inhale into Sphinx or Cobra. Then as you exhale, Child's Pose. As you inhale, sit up on the knees. Moving into a kneeling position. Though if this position does not feel correct for your knees, you can always stand on your knees. Finding which works better for your form, whether you're standing on your knees or sitting down on your heels. On an exhalation, wherever your body position is, just twist in a direction. Inhale forward, then exhale, twist in the opposite direction for you. As you inhale, bring the torso forward and go ahead and stand up on the knees. Exhaling that left foot forward. Here we'll inhale, bring the hands to pranam, And as you exhale, just twist in a direction. If you're feeling rambunctious, you can bring this into a fold and a twist by placing the outside of that right elbow onto the outside of the left thigh. You find what works best for you. As you inhale, bring the torso up. As you exhale, bring the hands down onto the mat. And here, as you inhale, you can walk the hands back just to extend that left leg. You may find that having the hands down is great, or you may sit back on that right heel. You find the place that you feel the best stretch. As you exhale, walk the hands forward, bending that left knee. As you inhale, bring the torso up. As you exhale, bring that left knee back to meet the right. Inhale, bringing that right foot forward, right knee is bent. Bring the hands to pranam at some juncture. And on an exhalation of your choosing, you can simply twist to the right, or you can twist and fold to the right by placing the outside of the left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. As you inhale, bring the torso up. And as you exhale, bring the hands down onto the mat. As you inhale, you can walk the hands back. You can always keep the hands on the floor. Just find a point in which the right leg extends and you feel some type of stretch. Some may find it is at a higher point where the posterior is away from the left heel to a great degree. Others sit back on that left heel. Here's just finding the point of stretch. As you exhale, walk the hands forward and bend that right knee. As you inhale, bring the torso up. On an exhale, bring that right knee to meet the left. On an inhale, sit down on the heels. And as you exhale, fold forward into child's pose. As you inhale, extend the arms overhead, placing the palms firmly onto the mat. Curling the toes under. As you exhale, engage in a downward dog. Inhaling while you're here, and on a subsequent exhale, bring that right foot forward. Bending that right knee. Left knee can be on or off the mat. Here, as you bring the torso up, bring the hands to pranam. That left knee can be on or off the mat. Because here, as you exhale, you can twist to the right, or you can twist and fold to the right. As you inhale, bring the torso up. Exhale, bringing the hands down onto the floor. As you inhale, extend that right leg back for your plank. Exhale to a point pose. Then as you inhale, move into Sphinx. As you exhale, downward dog. Inhaling while you're here. On an exhale, bringing that left foot forward. Right knee on or off the mat. Inhale, bringing the torso up, hands to pranam. Exhale, twisting to the left, or twisting and folding to the left. Inhaling the torso up and exhaling the hands down. Inhale, bring that right foot forward. Then here as you exhale, engage in a forward fold. If any discomfort manifests in the low back, bend those knees. If the discomfort is felt in the backs of the legs, you can massage those points with the fingers. As you inhale, slowly bring the torso up. You can arch back by placing the hands on the posterior shelf, just relaxing the torso back. Option 2 is to have the arms alongside the body. Option 3, the arms can reach up overhead. Exhale, release the torso into Tadasana, mountain pose. Taking a few steps forward, a few steps back on your mat. So for those of you who this is one of your first classes with me, we'll just do a review of tree first, and then we'll do eagle. If eagle is something new in your practice, you can always do tree once again. So this is a balanced position. Done on one foot, you can always move yourself off of your mat or move yourself near a wall. And eventually, you just simply choose a leg that will hold your weight. Then bring the other foot so that the heel is touching that inner leg. Try not to tell you which side, just in case you can keep it natural. Then eventually you bring that ball of the foot away from the floor to some degree, and then now you're balancing on one leg. Arm position is really up to you. They can be away. I like to keep my arms somewhere near the center line of the body for ease. And then you can bring the arms away from the center line for extra difficulty. Keeping your eyes fixed on a point. Now we'll gently switch. Arms towards center line, make it easier. Arms reach out to make it harder. As you're ready, release. So for this next position, you can just do tree once again. I will try and do quick descriptions so we don't hang out here for 2-3 minutes, just in case. Maybe that's for you, Clint. He's critiquing me this whole time. So here, it starts off by adding a little bit of bend in the knee of the leg in which you're going to balance on. Then once you find that perfect place where you have just enough knee bending, you're trying to cross one thigh over the other. If you're feeling really adept, you can curl that foot behind the calf, though. Just having the thighs over each other is enough. And now here, the arm that's on the opposite of the grounded foot, you're going to put a bend in that elbow. And then you're going to put the other arm into that bend of the elbow. You'd like to swirl the hands so that way the under hand is touching onto the forearm of the other arm, or allowing the palms to touch. It's really up to you. Now we'll switch. A little bend in the knee, finding that comfortable place, thigh over thigh. Arm that is opposite of the grounding foot, under, the other one on top. And releasing. Walking forward and back on the mat. Eventually spreading the feet a little wider than hips with the distance apart and squatting down. You can bring the hands to pranam, and if you would like more of a stretch on the inner thighs, you can bring the outsides of the elbows onto the insides of the knees. If you want even more of a stretch on the inner thighs, you can bring the hands down onto the ground, keeping the insides of the knees on the outsides of the elbows. You can lean a little forward, keeping the feet on the floor, and lean a little back. Then eventually releasing and moving into butterfly. Sitting on the posterior, soles and feet connect, holding on to the fronts of the ankles, and attempting to have a nice straight back. Shoulders are away from the ears, and the shoulder blades move towards each other. As you inhale, extend the left leg onto the floor, placing the right sole of the foot on the inside of that left thigh. You can make any adjustments to help facilitate a fold in this position. As you inhale, you can reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. Arms are auxiliary. And as you exhale, fold forward. Noticing your flow of breath, the diaphragmatic, smooth, equivalent breathing pattern you possibly facilitated at the beginning of class. As you inhale, bring the torso up, and as you exhale, twist in a direction. As you inhale, bring the torso forward. Exhale, twisting in the opposite direction for you. As you inhale, bring the torso forward. And now as you exhale, bring that left leg away from the mat by holding onto the back of the thigh. back of the calf, holding on to the toe or outsides of the feet. And now as you exhale, move into crisscross applesauce Sukhasana with the left lower leg or left shin in front of the right. Here you can just attempt to sit up straight, or if you need a little extra push, you can always place the hands by the hips to help support that back. As you exhale, twist in a direction. On an inhalation, bringing the torso forward. As you exhale, twist in the opposite direction for you. As you inhale, bring the torso forward. And as you exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, bring the torso up. Then as you exhale, move back into butterfly. Here's another point to take analysis of the flow of breath. And also notice any difference in the hips, knees, ankles. As you inhale, now extend the right leg. As you exhale, make any adjustments that you may need. As you inhale, you can reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. You can also reach the arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, bring the torso up. As you exhale, twist in a direction. Inhale the torso forward. Exhale, twisting in the opposite direction for you. Inhale the torso forward. Then as you exhale, bring that right leg away from the floor by holding onto the back of the thigh, back of the calf, toes are outsides of the foot. Here as you exhale, cross the legs and crisscross applesauce Sukhasana. And here just attempt to have the back be straight. You can always facilitate this by having the hands by the hips, doing a gentle press. As you notice, the silent auction has been extended because I ended up having to preside over a funeral this past weekend. So I wasn't able to do the winners yet. So extended it to this weekend. Meditation seminar this weekend plus study group was Friday. Study group will be live streamed if you'd like to join in, kind of see what it's about. If you want to be here. As you exhale, twist in a direction. Inhaling the torso forward, and exhale, twisting in the opposite direction for you. As you inhale, bring the torso forward, and as you exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, bring the torso up. And so this next position, just because of the nature, some students will be able to do the double leg position of this, others will do the single. I will describe what we're doing first, so that way you can find out which one you would like to engage in. So this is half hero by having one leg extended, then having the opposite leg bent and the inside of the thigh on the ground. The goal here is to lay back in some form of function. You place the hands behind the posterior, relax the head back. You can rest on the forearms, or you can lay down on the back, having that knee of the one that's bent move down towards the floor. For those of you that are extremely adept here, you can actually bring both of the legs into the same bent position and attempt to lay back. Though, we'll just see where we're all at. For those of you doing the single leg position, as you exhale, sit up, then inhale, switch. Which leg is doing the different position? And then as you're ready, laying back. First off, just on the hands, behind the posterior, relaxing the head back. Option 2 is resting on the elbows, allowing that knee to move down towards the floor. Option 3 is to lay back fully on the mat. As you exhale, sit up. On an inhale, moving on to the belly for Sphinx once again. My suggestion, though, is that this time you spread the feet a little wider than you normally would. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is to bring the palms down onto the ground and then dissipate the bend in the elbows. This can move you more into a cobra. And even more of an extension on the back would consist of bringing the hands closer to the pelvis, always keeping that pubic symphysis connected with the ground. On an exhalation, releasing the torso down. As you inhale, extend the arms alongside the body. Here we can do either single or double bow. Single bow is where you only bend one knee, grabbing back with the corresponding hand, and then extending that leg. Double bow is where you bend both of the knees, grabbing onto the fronts of the shins or the tops of the feet. As you inhale, you can gently extend those legs back, putting tension on the arms and bringing the upper torso away from the mat. On an exhalation, releasing, and here just pull the heels towards the gluteals. As you inhale, extend the legs onto the mat. As you exhale, press back into child's pose. As you inhale, sit up on the heels. As you exhale, if you need for ease, you can stand up on the knees. Bringing the hands in front of you, allowing the thumbs to touch, facing the palms out towards my wall. Option 2 is just to bring those hands onto the ground and place a little bit of weight on them. As you inhale, release, bringing those hands in front of you again, and now fanning the fingers out. Maybe having the pinkies touch. If you're really adept, you can have the wrist touch. Just reaching the hands towards my wall. Option 2 is to bring the palms onto the ground. A bend in the elbow makes this more intense. Straighter arms are easier. And of course, you can always lean forward or back. As you inhale, release. Bring the thumbs together once again, fingers up. As you exhale, fan the fingers forward and down, just facing the backs of the hands towards my wall. And if you're feeling rambunctious and you need more, you can always bring the backs of the hands down onto the mat. Bending the elbow is easier. Straighter arms are more difficult. And of course, leaning forward and back can bring a different stretch onto the carpals and metacarpals. As you inhale, bring the hands away from the floor and begin some rotations of the wrists. One direction, another direction. Bring the hands into gentle fists and continue the rotations. You can also rotate the arms in conjunction with the wrists. You can even move them in different circles. They'll be mindful of your form. Then here as you exhale, if you're not already standing up on the knees, this is your time to do so. You will engage in either camel or gentle camel. Gentle camel is placing the hands, the heels of the hands right at the waistline. Fingers then go down onto the posterior cheeks. And as you inhale, you can relax the head back, pressing the pelvis forward. Option 2 is to bring the hands onto the heels and press that pelvis forward. Optionally, you can always bring the head back as you move into this position. As you exhale, move into child's pose once again. Balasana. As you inhale, slowly move out of child's pose. And think about your inversions. Legs up the wall is always the preferred version, though there are contraindications to any of the other poses. Plow and shoulder stand are contraindicated by menstruation, pregnancy, diarrhea, hemorrhoids, glaucoma, high blood pressure, neck injuries, back injuries, eye surgeries, hernias, vomiting. If any of those are manifesting in the form at this time, you can always move into legs up the wall. For those of you in plow, you can bring one leg Up into shoulder stand, keeping the other leg in plow. Now you can switch. For those of you legs up the wall, you can bring the legs into a V position. For those of you in shoulder stand, you can just move into shoulder stand. For those of you with legs at the wall, you can think about doing bridge on the wall or on the mat. For those of you in shoulder stand, you can gently transition into bridge by bending the knees, bringing them towards the forehead, curling out, moving into an arching position. For those of you with legs at the wall, you can do bridge on the wall or bridge on the mat. For those of you in bridge, you can exhale, slowly release the vertebrae onto the ground. For those of you with legs up the wall, you can remove the legs from the wall and move back onto the mat for half fish. The legs are extended for half fish. The back is away from the ground, allowing the forearms and elbows to connect with the floor. Upper arms will support the torso as the head relaxes back and the sternum reaches up towards the sky for half fish. On an exhalation, moving out of half fish and into Shavasana, relaxation pose, utilizing any props, bolster under the knees, blankets, socks that feel correct for you as you rest here. Maybe the legs are wider than hips width distance, possibly the toes rotate outward naturally. Arms are comfortably extended, maybe the palms are facing the sky, and the hands are away from the hips a few inches. There could be a pillow under the head, or the chin can rotate gently towards the chest as the back of the neck extends, just enough to find a comfortable place for the back of the head. Finding your flow of breath, a diaphragmatic, smooth, equivalent breath that you were made aware of at the beginning of class, and noticing its evolution during your practice. We will do a 61-point relaxation. I will start off at the point between the eyebrows, and you can focus here by imagining a glowing blue circle or light emanating from this area, a healing sound reverberating through this area, a healing vibration that you can feel in this area, or the breath
manifesting here at the point between the eyebrows. Now moving this focus to the front of the neck. The right shoulder, inside of the right elbow, right wrist, tip of the thumb, tip of the index finger, tip of the middle finger, tip of the ring finger, baby finger, wrist, elbow, shoulder, front of the neck, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the thumb, tip of the index finger, tip of the middle finger, ring finger, baby finger, wrist, elbow, shoulder, front of the neck, center of the chest, right nipple, center of the chest, left nipple, center of the chest, in the center line of the body, on the actual abdomen, 4 fingertips length distance above the navel. Same criteria for below the navel. Base of the pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, tip of the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, baby toe, ankle, knee, hip, base of the pelvis, left hip, left knee, top of the ankle, tip of the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, baby toe. Ankle, knee, hip, base of the pelvis, on the abdomen and the center line of the body, 4 fingertips length distance below the navel. Same criteria above the navel. Center of the chest. Front of the neck. Point between the eyebrows. Crown of the head. On an exhalation, bringing the legs closer together. As you inhale, reach the arms overhead along the carpet for a symmetrical stretch. As you exhale, bending the knees and hugging the thighs into the abdomen, you can apply any movements that feel correct for you. As you inhale, extend the legs onto the ground. And as you exhale, roll over to the right side. On an exhalation, rolling over to the belly and spreading the feet out as wide as you find comfortable, and maybe rotating the feet so the inside arches of the feet connect with the floor. You can stack the forearms upon one another and rest the aptly named forehead on those forearms. Noticing the flow of breath. On an exhalation, pressing back into child's pose. Then as you're ready, moving into a comfortable seated position.
whether that is Vajrasana, kneeling position, Dandasana, staff pose with the legs extended, or Sukhasana, easy pose, preferably sitting on some object if you're in Sukhasana to help elevate the hips, to make this just a little bit easier on the knees, ankles, and pelvic areas. We will engage in a little bit of Nadi Shodhanam, alternate nostril breathing. If you would like to utilize the hands, you can place the index and middle fingers at the point between the eyebrows, leaving the ring finger and thumb available to close off a nostril. Taking a big inhale, large exhale, just establishing which nostril has a stronger stream. The stronger stream nostril I'll refer to as the active, the one with a little less stream, the passive. Inhale normally through both. Then before exhaling, close off the passive nostril and exhale through that passive, that active nostril. Then subsequently inhaling through that active nostril. Now closing off the active nostril, opening up the passive, exhaling through the passive. Then at your rate, inhaling through the passive, closing the passive nostril, exhaling through active, and inhaling through active. Doing the same on the passive. Now exhale through passive and inhale through passive. Doing this 2 more times on each nostril, utilizing your own breath pattern. Once you've completed this on the nostrils, you can sit in breath awareness, silent prayer, silent meditation, silent self-affirmation. If you just want to sit in breath awareness, you can imagine the breath traveling around the spine as you inhale up the back of the spine and exhale the breath down the front of the spine. Slowly moving your awareness outward, And eventually moving the body into a crawling position. Curling the toes under, walking the hands back towards the knees. Eventually the knees will leave the ground. And as you inhale, extend those legs. And exhale into a forward fold for just a moment. And inhaling the body up, arching back in a comfortable way. As you exhale, bring the torso into a standing Tadasana with the hands and pranam. It's been a pleasure practicing with you this evening. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.